In today's video, I'm going to show you the average amount people spend in retirement and how you can use that information to determine your own retirement expenses. Hey everybody, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and I'm here to teach you how to get the most out of life with your money. Understanding expenses in retirement is one of the biggest challenges most people face as they approach their retirement years. When you're working, you kind of know your expenses, but more importantly, you have income coming in to cover it, and you know that's in place. When you retire, you have no idea how much income you need coming in because you don't know exactly what your expenses are going to be. So understanding your true expenses is a very important part of your overall retirement plan. Now, if we just look at nationwide averages, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics says that the average spending for people between age 65 and age 75 is just over $4,000 per month. Now, I'd love to know from you, that's average. Does that sound high or low based upon what you think you'll spend? And I would love to know in the comments below so we can start to learn from others around us. Now, that $4,000 per month is average, which means whether you live in a very high cost of living area or very low cost of living area, the number's probably going to vary from there. But if we look at everyone across the board, that's the average retirement spending between the ages of 65 and 75, and it tends to go down a little bit from there. The question for you is, how does that apply to your situation? I know people that spend less than that in retirement. I know people who spend 4, 5, 6, 7 times that amount in retirement. So there's no one right answer. Not everyone's going to spend the same amount, but what is important is to know your specific expenses. So while that's a good, helpful benchmark, my guess is it's probably not exactly what you're going to spend. So knowing that information, there's 2 ways that I recommend people determine their expenses as they're going into retirement. The first approach to this is what I call the bottom-up approach. This is going to give you the most detailed view to understanding what will your true expenses be in retirement. It's a little bit more complex, but it's also going to give you the most specific or most custom version of what you can expect retirement expenses to be. What this looks like is actually laying out a spreadsheet and laying out line by line what will all your different expenses be. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to link a resource here where you can actually apply the template that I use to do this and to help understand this. But what it involves is understanding housing. What's it going to cost for mortgage or rent? What about property taxes? What about maintenance? Starting to itemize those. What about utilities? Utilities could be a phone bill, it could be a cable bill, it could be your electricity, trash, water. What are those going to cost? What about entertainment? What about clothing? What about transportation? What about those expenses that aren't happening every month, but you're going to incorporate as part of your plan? Those are things like travel. Those are things like gifts. Those are things like auto registration or new cars. What things are you going to have, but they're not necessarily going to be part of your everyday living expenses? How do you incorporate all of that so you can get a general sense of what your expenses will be? Of course, you'll have to adjust it for inflation and adjust it for taxes, but that's going to give you the most clear picture of what retirement will look like. Again, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to link to a resource that I use both personally and with clients to help determine this. The second approach is called the top-down approach. This is going to get you probably 80 to 90% accuracy, but it's going to do so in a fraction of the time. So the top-down approach looks like this. Let's assume I'm working today and I want to retire in 5 years, but I have no idea what it's going to cost to retire. The first thing I want to know is, how much money am I taking home today? Now keep in mind, this is not the same thing as my gross annual salary. My gross annual salary is how much I'm paid. But after being paid, I probably have some going to 401k, I have some going to payroll taxes, I have some going to federal taxes or state taxes and other deductions. And at the end of the day, I have a lower amount that's hitting my bank account each month than I actually started with my gross salary. So that's important because that number that hits my bank account, that's what I'm living on. That's what I'm actually using to pay the bills, to pay housing, to pay for food, to pay for utilities. So if I can maintain that, what that tells me is I'll be able to maintain my current standard of living even in retirement once I adjust that for inflation. So that's step 1. Step 1 is super easy. It's really go to your bank statement and see how much is actually hitting your bank account each month. If I'm paid twice a month, and let's say twice a month $4,000 comes in, $8,000 is what I'm actually living on. But let's take this example one step further to start to get more accurate. Let's assume that $8,000 per month is coming in, but I have a mortgage payment of $2,000 per month that's just principal and interest, and that mortgage payment will be gone by the time that I retire. So property taxes won't be gone, home insurance won't be gone, but if $2,000 is the portion that's principal and interest, what that really means is $8,000 comes in, $2,000 is just going to the bank, so really it's just the remaining $6,000 that I need to live on. And if that mortgage payment is gone by the time that I retire, it's only the $6,000 that I actually need to be able to maintain in retirement. Okay, so start to back out the expenses that will no longer be there. This could be mortgage. This could also be investments. Let's assume I'm also saving $500 per month to a Roth IRA. So $8,000 hits my bank account, $2,000 goes to the mortgage, and I know that's going to be gone by retirement, so $6,000 is only the amount that I need to maintain, but then $500 is going to a Roth IRA. Well, when I'm retired, I'm not going to keep contributing to the Roth IRA. I might do some Roth conversions, but I'm not going to contribute out of my own personal cash flow. So if $6,000 was what I needed before, now really it's only $5,500. $5,500 is the amount that myself and my wife are actually living on in this example to do everything that we want to do. So if I say, yeah, I just want to be able to maintain current lifestyle, that's the amount that would actually maintain current lifestyle. Now, what we'd want to do next is say we want to not just maintain current lifestyle, but enhance lifestyle. Maybe we want to take more trips. Maybe we want to do more things. Maybe there's clubs or memberships we want to get involved in. We'd then add those back on top of it. But really what you're doing with a top-down approach is saying what's coming in today. And what's coming in today is allowing you to live life. Let's remove those expenses that will be gone when you retire. This could be principal and interest portion of your mortgage. This could be savings and investment. This could be life insurance premiums potentially that you're no longer going to pay. Really back out those things that will no longer be there, and then add in the things that you'll want to add on top of your current lifestyle. What that's going to do for you is in a matter of just a few minutes, you're going to have a very rough estimate, at least a really solid number to start using for planning purposes to understand what will your retirement actually cost. Now, one thing to keep in mind with both of these approaches is whether you're using the top-down approach or the bottom-up approach, you need to understand that this is after inflation and after taxes what you'll need in retirement. So if I'm not going to retire for 5 years or 10 years, whatever number I come up with today, I need to adjust that for inflation over the next 5 years or 10 years. I also understand that this is the amount that I need after taxes. So I need to understand what tax brackets will I be in so that after taxes are paid, after adjusting for inflation, here's the amount I want to hit my bank account so I can continue doing the things I want to do in retirement. Now, I mentioned at the end of this video, I would give you a link to a resource that I personally use and I also use with clients to help them determine their expenses both today and in retirement. So be sure to check out this video above where I walk through the method that I use, and I also have a link to the spreadsheet that I use so you can determine your exact expenses both today and in retirement. Once again, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients at Root Financial get the most out of life with their money, be sure to visit us at www.rootfinancialpartners.com.